So good morning, gentlemen. So today my topic is AFSP Act, and I am going to break this topic into subparts like background, like history and present scenario. What is the way forward of this act? So what is AFSP Act? AFSP Act means Armed Forces Special Powers Act. It was started in the it was started in the 1948 1942 before the independence, when India's people was trying to get out, when India people was trying to forcefully force the action upon the Britishers. When the at that time the viceroy was the Lord Lincoln, they started the, we can say that the AFSP ordinance means it was just for short term in this. And what was this talked about? Means it was just a shoot and sight orders. If anyone get, means at that time if anyone get raised the voice against the government, there the Miss Viceroy gave the orders like shoot and sight orders. So that the first time we saw this act was implemented in 1942 when India got independence, and there were still issuing, and there were some sort of like the anti-rebels groups in the northern eastern states. Like in the 1958 we implemented the FSP Act in the Nagaland, because there were some issues related to they wanted the independent nation, they wanted independent state, and another groups were also doing the same. So we implemented that act in the 1958 in the northern eastern states, and also later part we also implement in the whole northeast area for the better improvement of our, for the betterment of our northern states. Like for the thereafter in the 1983 we also implemented this act in the Punjab and Chandigarh. Why? Reason was simple: because of the Khalistani movement. They were tried, means they were trying to be against the government, like they were trying to against the government. So that the third time then when this law was enacted in the 1983. Another time, fourth time in the India's history in 1990, when the Jammu and Kashmir was the fully of terrorist group militancy was high in that peak in that area, Jammu and Kashmir. So that time implemented in the 1990. So in the today's scenario, if we talk about the today's scenario, the AFSP is still in implemented in the Jammu and Kashmir and the northeastern state, not in the fully northeastern state, and it is not in the case that the AFSP is implemented in the whole area of the Jammu and Kashmir. But the government saw that if the areas, means if they saw any changes in the recent changes in that area, so government tried to revoke the act from there. Okay, means government also did the same with the northeast. Means the whole northeast the AFSP act still not implemented in the whole northeast, but there are some sensitive areas in the northeast where where this act is still implemented. And government of India also also wanted to doing the same in the Jammu and Kashmir area, but there was some militants. So government of India should have think more, one or two time before this revocation. Okay, before this revocation from the Jammu and Kashmir government. I talked about you. No, I talked about you. What are the some powers get, means Indian Army? What are the powers that Indian Army get under this act? So number one, that means they have the fully right. Like what are the fully rights? Means they have the shoot, and means if they have any doubt anyone, like this military, means they can ask the question, then they can ask the question. They may have searched their place without a warrant. They can kill anybody, not kill anybody, but they kill militancy if they had any suspicion about 110% it is militancy. They can kill militancy. They can destroy the place of the militants. If they have doubts, they may search their place without a warrant. They may arrest somebody. They may ask legal question. They may detention somebody. These are the powers that this act gave to Indian Army. So if these powers gave to the Indian Army, so there was also some issues, and there was also some questions raised against this act. There were also some critics that raised question against this act within the India. So we think that this is also Means this is all about our internal security. It's not about that we are doing for our peacefully, like we are just enjoyfully. We are not. We are doing for our internal security. We have threat. Okay, we have threat in the internal as well as the, if we know we have threat from the outside, but we have threat as well as in the inside borders. We have threat our national interest in the inside also. Okay, so we have, if we saw the, if we doing the same things, if we have, if we will be having a war in the, having a war in the future, so we will doing the same thing. Why? Because of our national interest. And we also doing the same things with the, within our the India, because of our national interest. We want our India clean. Okay, so raise up questions like critics argue that why this too much power given to the army, and what are the human rights violence, these create the human right violence, means army has too much power, like they may have killed anybody. So these were the question raised, but Indian army and the central government is making to, central government and the Indian army, they are not doing anybody kill, they are just doing their work. And we have also seen the result under